Chapter 52 of JinPingMei Original Version. Earl Ying plays Chun Zhao in the cave, and Pan Jinlian flirts with her beloved son-in-law in the garden. It is said that Simon King was having a drink at Jia Tixing's house that day, and he was very happy when he saw Song Shunjian giving gifts. Jia Tixing also respected the difference from the past, stopped at the door to persuade him to drink, and didn't let him go home until the middle of the night. Pan Jinlian took off her crown under the lamp early, set up a quilt and pillow, and took a fragrant bath to wait. Simon King came in. Then, seeing that he was half drunk, he quickly took off his clothes. Chumai ordered tea and went to bed to rest. I saw the woman stripped naked, sitting on the edge of the bed. With her head lowered, she hugged her white legs across her knees and bound her feet, and put on a pair of bright red flat-soled sleeping shoes. When Simon King saw him, his lust rose frequently, and he became very excited. Because he asked the woman for a vagina, she hurriedly took it out from under the mattress and handed it to him. Simon King took both of them, put his arm around the woman in his arms, and said, "I want to have sex with you today. Are you willing?" The woman looked at her. He glanced at it and said, "What a shameless enemy. It's no longer worthwhile for you to spend all your time with the book boy. Now you're pestering me again. Why don't you go and have sex with that slave? Forget it. If you obey me, what do you think about the little boy? You don't know that this is what you like in your heart, so just let it go." The woman couldn't get enough of him, so she said, "I'm afraid I won't be able to stand up to a big guy like you. You put your head in the ring, and I'll try to play with you." Simon King Shen removed the sulfur ring and only tied the silver bra around the base. He asked the woman to crawl on the bed with her buttocks raised, smearing saliva on the glands and rubbing it back and forth. The glands is strong, with only its edges missing for a while. The woman frowned and endured, biting the sweat towel in her mouth, and shouted, "Dada, please slow down. The front of my head is so hot that it hurts." Then Simon King shouted, "My dear, it doesn't matter if you call me Dada. I'll buy a set of colorful gauze clothes for you to wear tomorrow." The woman said, "I do have those clothes. Yesterday I saw Sister Li Gui wearing the gold oil, goose yellow and silver gauze skirt with jade-colored thread and sheepskin picks. It looked good, and she said she bought it from inside. He always has it, but I don't have it. Skirt, I don't know how much money it is, but you can just buy one and I'll wear it." Simon King said, "It doesn't matter. I will buy it for you tomorrow." Yi Bi said, thrusting hard on the penis, without exposing the head, shallow thrusts and deep thrusts. The woman looked back and shouted, "Good Dada, it's so tight here that it hurts. Why do you just act like this? I beg you. I'd better lose it as soon as possible." Simon King didn't listen, and supported stock and play with its incoming and outgoing trends. On the other hand, he shouted, "Pan War, little whore. You are so angry in calling Dada. Coax your Dada corpse son to come out." The sound of pulling the buttocks was endless. The woman moaned together underneath, and couldn't stop it. When he was about to pass, Simon King pulled the woman's buttocks. And the buttocks were all the way down to the root, directly touching a deep place. It was so beautiful that it was indescribable. So I felt happy and vented my heart. The woman accepts his essence, and her two bodies are close to each other. After pulling out the handle of the frog for a long time, I saw that the stem was dyed scarlet red and saliva was flowing from the frog's mouth. The woman wiped it with a handkerchief and then went to bed. One night scene has been mentioned. The next day, Simon King came back from the Yemen in the morning. Officers in Antuang sent someone to send a request. On the 22nd, there was a banquet at Eunuch Liu's village in the brick factory. "Please go early." Simon King sent someone. And after eating porridge in the upper room, Yunong said, Mr. Ansu put her palms together and asked, "Excuse me, Bodhisattva, I will definitely come on that day." So he made a speech. Yunong and everyone were sent to the front of the gate. Pan Jinlian was flipping his incense box on the table. Yulu and Li Pinger were both sitting on the chairs. Simon King suddenly turned over and saw that all the women were in the room. He said, "Every time you come here, what are you doing?" Earl Ying walked to the pine wall and saw Sister Gui holding Brother Guan, and said, "Okay, Sister Li Gui is here." He deliberately asked, "When will you come?" Sister Gui left and said, "Well, you weird flower. It's none of your business. Why are you asking?" The Earl said, "What a good little whore. It's none of my business. Forget it. Just keep talking to me." So he hugged her and kissed her. Because the teacher said to the boy, "Take my brother and send him to your mother," the book boy quickly took it over. Nipple Ryer was waiting at the corner of Songkyung and went to pick her up. The Earl and Sister Gui stood talking and asked, "How is your matter?" Sister Gui said, "Thanks for seeing me here. Brother Bao went to Tokyo to talk to me on my behalf." The Earl said, Okay, that's all. You can rest assured." After saying that, Sister Gui went back. The Earl said, "You little whore, come here and I'm still talking to you." Sister Gui said, "I'll come in a short while." So he also came to Li Pinger. The Earl and Simon Ching Kai sang and sat down. "Now please come and invite Xi Zichen, and we will share every time we hit Chuanglu." On the other hand, he said to Qin Tunger, "Please go and thank Dad quickly. You said Yinger's father is here." Qin Tunger accepted the promise. The Earl asked, "Have you collected the money from the Zhu family?" Simon King said, "The thief has never stopped, so he will give you 250 taels tomorrow. You can teach him to come later, if you are young. I will let's get along with him at home." The Earl said, "It's better to wait. I'm afraid he will buy some fresh things to show his filial piety to you today." Simon King said, "Don't worry about teaching him." When we got there, no one came home. You only said that Chang Richu drank alcohol and ate meat. It was so easy to eat. It seemed that he was the one who suffered such hardships. It was such a hot day on the way. Carry it on the iron rope. And it's not tangled up. So it's the big deal. Simon King laughed and said, "It's a strange talent. He can't be sent to the army to fight. Who taught him to follow the Wang family's servants all day long and just bump into him? He will suffer the pain he seeks." The Earl said, "What I said makes sense. A fly doesn't get through the cracked eggs. So why doesn't he look for me and Xi Zichen? What's clear is just pure. And what's muddy is just muddy." Just as he was talking, Xi Shi arrived. After singing, I sat down and just fanned myself. Simon King asked, "Why are you so sweaty when you walk?" He goes, "What an unreasonable old whore. I don't want you to call me here." The Earl said, "I didn't tell my brother just now, but the new wine into cups, and it will clear itself and muddy it. How did we say it at the beginning? I said I would follow the Wang family, but tomorrow I will lose something. How are you doing today? I bumped into this net. Here, there is no one who can't complain." Simon King said, "How brave is that young boy from the Wang family? He hasn't got enough brains yet to support his wife. It's not enough for what I have done every time. It's just a shame," said the Earl. "He once saw some big shot, Brother Big. And I just mentioned his activities to scare him to death." After saying that, the boy brought some tea and ate it. Simon King said, "You to play Shuanglu. The water is in the back, and I will ask the boy to bring it to us to eat after a while." The piano boy came to set the table. Earl Ying and Xi Zida picked up the chopsticks and swallowed a bowl. The two of them drank 7 bowls at once. Simon King couldn't finish 2 bowls, so he said, "My son, you two eat these." The Count said, "Brother, who ordered this side today? It's delicious and refreshing." Xi Shidao, "I'm waiting for the stew to be ready. I just ate just now, otherwise I would have banned another bowl." The two of them warmed up their food and took off their clothes. Seeing Qin Tunger taking over the housework, he said, "Sir, go to the back and get some water. I'll rinse my mouth every time." Xi Shidao, "Warm tea is good, but hot tea makes it smell like garlic." After a while, the painting boy arrived with tea. The Count saw it and said, "What a good thing. He cut it out from nowhere and brought it to me. Let me have a taste." He picked up several in one hand, handed two to Xi Zida, and said, "I will live to old age and die. And I still don't know what these are." Simon King said, "What a strange dog. He ate it before he made an offering to the Buddha." The Count said, "Why don't you make an offering to the Buddha? I don't have any stolen goods in my mouth." Simon King ordered, "Give it to the back and keep it. Ask your Sanyang for 3 coins of silver to reward him." The Earl asked, "Is it Li Jin who sent it, or Huang Ninger?" Ping'an said, "It's Huang Ninger." The Earl said, "Today I made this dog bald and rewarded him with 3 coins." Here Simon King watched the two of them play Shuanglu without any question. Let's say that Yunyang, Sister Gui, Li Jiar, Meng Yulu, Pan Jinlian, Li Ping'er and the eldest sister all ate in the back and sat under the corridor. I saw Xiao Zhuer resting his head in front of the screen wall. Li Ping'er said, "Xiao Zhuer, you're welcome. Come in and have a shave with Xiao Dagener. I need to protect his hair. I'll cut it for him at home. I'll teach you to come in and shave it. Is it a good shave?" As luck would have it, the kid held in his anger for a long time before letting it go. The sound comes. Li Ping'er was relieved and just patted him and said, "What a brave little Zhuer." Ping Bai came in and shaved off my brother's head. The shaved part was half-shape, and he bullied my brother. He still hasn't taken it back. Wait for me to vent my anger on my brother. So she carried her to Yunyang. Yunyang said, "You are not a handsome little flower boy. I am fooling you by shaving your head. How can you cry? The rest will be a hair-sharing thief tomorrow." After teasing for a while, Li Ping'er handed over her breasts. Yunyang said, "Don't feed him milk for now. Let's feed him milk after he sleeps for a while." The breasts were held forward. I saw Lianer coming in to get Xiao Zhuer's housework, and she was so bluffing that Xiao Zhuer's face turned yellow. Yunyang asked, "Has he eaten?" Lian said, "He has eaten." Father rewarded him with 5 coins. Yunyang taught Lian, "You take a basket of wine and go out with him. It's so easy to bluff people into asking for the money." Xiao Yu quickly sifted a cup, took a plate of bacon, and taught Lian to eat with him. Went. Sister Li Gui took the calendar and looked at it, and said, "This 24th day. It is my mother's birthday. I am not allowed to be at home." Yunyang said, "The 10th day of the month before last was your sister's birthday. It's past." Taking advantage of my brother-in-law's wealth, I thought of everyone's birthday. That's it. Sister Gui just laughed and said nothing. Simon King sent a painting boy to invite him, and Sister Gui put her makeup on Yunyang's room and went to the garden. In the rolling shed, the 8 immortals table was put down early. There were 2 large plates of roasted pork and many delicacies on the table. After everyone ate for a while, Sister Gui was passing Zhong'er the wine. The Earl said, "Listen, your father. It's not that I'm trying to get rid of you. The favor is already done. Your father has said it for you in the county again. No, I'm looking for you. Who did you owe it to? It's also thanks to me asking your father over and over again that he agreed. Why would he be willing to do favors for you? Just listen to your favorite song. You sing it and I'll drink it. It's also a reward for your hard work. Accurate discount." Sister Gui laughed and scolded, "Weird Shi-sen Hanako. You are so shameless." "Dad, will you believe what you say?" The Earl said, "You little whore. You haven't recited the scriptures yet. Hit the monk first. If you want to eat, don't get angry." You dared to laugh at the monk for surrendering to his mother-in-law. "But I can't handle you. A little whore. Don't make fun of me. I'm half pretty and I can't do it." Sister Gui slapped him with a fan in her hand and hit him twice as hard as she could. Simon King smiled and scolded, "You are a bitch, and tomorrow you will be accused of a male thief and a female prostitute, and you will lose the money you originally asked." After laughing for a while, Sister Gui slowly picked up the pipa, put it on her knees, opened her red lips, exposed her white teeth, and sang, "Huang Yinger who wants to have such a thing? Deodorizes skin, causes weight loss. Jing Luan's dust lock is unintentional. The makeup and powder are even, and the flower branches are lazily tied with hairpins." Kong Zhao's dark eyebrows frowned and Chen Shan hated him. The Earl said, "You two came here at first. But now you are scared for him, so you shouldn't complain. Sister Gui said, Khan is evil to you. What nonsense are you talking about? The most difficult thing to control was that the sound of heartbreak was heard when the corners were painted on the Kiao Tower. The Earl said, the intestines are not broken, but the thread that was used to lift you. This time is broken, so you can't lift it anymore. Sister Gui beat her as hard as she could and scolded her. You are a thief. You are a thief. You are a fool today. You are just fooling around, collection guests. The quiet window is quiet and the moon is bright again, and I hate to lean against the screen alone. Suddenly I heard Gu Hong's call outside the building, waking me up again from my worries. The leakage will last forever, and I will not wake up early when the light is dim and the fragrance is dim. He slept peacefully there. The Earl said, silly little whore, why can't he sleep peacefully? I didn't take him away. He is sleeping at home. So you hide in others' homes, carrying the sheepskin in your arms day by day, until the people from Tokyo come. A stone falls to the ground. Sister Gui was annoyed by what he said and said, Dad, look at Ying Wuzi. For some reason, he only talks and pesters me. The Earl asked, have you recognized your father this time? Sister Gui ignored him, played the pipa and sang again. Double voices overlapping rhymes thinking about it. Why don't you take it seriously? There is no one. And the tears fall secretly. The Earl said, a man was accustomed to drowning. One day, his mother died, and he made a bed to sleep in front of the funeral. It was late, and he drowned again. When people came in and saw the mattress was wet, they asked how they came, but the man didn't. The answer is just, you don't know. I shed tears from my stomach at night. Just like you, I couldn't say no to him, so I had to cry behind his back. Sister Gui said, my shameless child. Did you see me here? I'm so sweaty. I blame him, saying that if he doesn't stop, who knows that he should get out of here first. I hate myself for not taking him seriously in the first place. The Earl said, you silly little whore, with this schedule, you can't even coax a 3-year-old child, let alone the son of Feng Yu. Are you serious about being with him? You stay here for a while, and you can listen to me while I sing a southern song. Feng Yu, let me tell you what happened. Today's schedule cannot be said to be false or true. Each of them is a strange spirit, and each of them has been accustomed to it for a long time. They will bury their plans alive and cover the blind vat with a dark roof. The old godly woman only wants to make money, and the little whore is you have to drag yourself by the neck to push forward. The pain is like drowning in a river, and the sorrow is like searching for a friend. When you have to fill up the karma jar, you will turn into a donkey and a horse and stop doing this business. Sister Gui started to cry when she said this. Simon King slapped the Earl on the head and laughed and scolded him. You are such a gut-breaking dog. You will kill the person if you eat him alive. Because he called Sister Gui, you sing and ignore him. Zi Shidao said, Brother Yang, you are so boring. Today, you only bully me, my goddaughter. If you say anything again, you will get a big boil on your mouth. Na Guiji picked up the pipa for half a day and sang again, cutting the royal forest. Everyone said he was sincere. Before the Earl could say anything, Saida pressed his mouth down and said, Sister Gui, please sing and don't care about him. Sister Gui sang again. It turned out that we were seducing each other. His eyes wide open, but his heart and mouth don't respond. Saida let go of his hand, and the Earl added, it's better to respond. There is no response in the heart, but now there is response in the tiger's mouth. Not much, only 3 or 2 sticks, Sister Gui said. White eyebrows and red eyes. Did you see it? The Earl said, I didn't see it. Wasn't it in Lexing Hall? Even Simon King and everyone started laughing. Sister Gui sang again. We have made an oath to each other, telling lies and telling the truth, almost not being lovesick for his mistakes. How can you teach me to have a future by being unpopular and looking at the Yi family's pretentiousness? The Earl said, I don't dare to count on him for the future. Tomorrow, he will be indispensable to announce the attack. Sister Gui sang again. Amber Cat's pendant, the days are far apart. When will we meet again? It's in vain that I would rather wait patiently than I am crazy, Dreams of clouds and rain and wushan are hard to come by. I am ruthless and will fight hard to be with you in this life. Epilogue enemies are so unlucky that they leave each other alone. The kindness in that world was turned into cakes made of words after singing. She said, come on, come on. Tell the painting boy to take the pipa. And wait while I reward Sister Gui with a glass of wine to calm down. The Earl said, wait for me to feed the vegetables. My skills are of no use, so hard work will give me the benefit of the doubt. Sister Gui said, Quasi, come here. Who cares about you? You hit someone with a big punch. This time you use your hand to touch him. At that moment, Saida handed Sister Gui 3 glasses of wine in a row and said to the Earl, if we still have those 2 plates of Shuanglu, let's finish them. So the two fought against Shuanglu again. Simon King winked at Sister Gui and walked out. The Earl said, brother, go to the back and bring some fragrant tea. I ate some garlic in my head, and now I feel bad. Simon King said, I have fragrant tea here. The Earl said, brother, you are still coaxing me. Liu Zhuguan of Hangzhou gave you a good boy. It is not good for you to eat alone. Simon King smiled and went away. Sister Gui also came out, picking flowers and wearing them on the Taihu Lake rocks, but she also disappeared. The Count and Zaida played 3 consecutive sets of 2 continents, until Simon Qingbai disappeared. Asked Hua Tunger, what is your father doing in the back? Hua Tunger said, Dad is in the back. So he came out. The Earl said, come out. It's a little weird. Zaida said, sit here and wait for me to find him. Then Zishi Daji and Schrödinger played chess. It turned out that Simon King only walked to Li Pingera's room, took the medicine and came out. When he saw Sister Li Gui under the wood incense shed, he took her to the snow cave in Zhongchunwu, closed the door, and sat on the low bed. He held Sister Gui in his arms and sat on his lap, revealing those words to him, look, I gave Sister Gui a fright. Then he asked, why is it so big? Simon Qingshi told him about taking Hu Monk's medicine. First, he lowered his pink neck, opened his lips, and smacked his lips. Then, he gently picked up his 2 little golden lotuses, straddled his arms on both sides, carried them to a chair, and the 2 of them started fucking. Unexpectedly, the Earl went to various pavilions to search, but couldn't find it. He passed through a small hole in the dripping green rock, arrived at the wood incense shed, wiped the grape trellis, and went deep into the pines and bamboos beside the Zhangchun dock, where he faintly heard someone. Laughter, but I don't know where it is. The Count slowly sneaked up and opened the curtains. He saw the cave doors ajar and just listened outside, hearing Sister Gui's trembling voice. She turned her body to face Simon King and called, Dada, hurry up and get over it. I'm afraid someone will come. The Earl suddenly shouted and opened the door. He came in and saw Simon King carrying Sister Gui on his legs and doing a good job. He said, get water quickly, splash the 2 huggers, and hug each other. Sister Li Gui said, the strange knife came in suddenly and scared me. The Earl said, hurry up. It's so easy. It has to be worth the money. I was afraid that someone would come and see me, so I came. Come here and wait for me to whip my head, Simon King said. You weird dog. Just go out and stop fooling around. I'm just afraid that the boy will come and see you, Earl Na Ying said. You little slut, please do it to me. Otherwise I will start shouting, and even the sister-in-law behind will know about it. Since you consider me your goddaughter, I would like to teach you to hide for 2 days. You stole a man again. Can I teach you? Sister Gui said. Go away, it's Hanako's fault. The Earl said, shall I go? I'll give him a kiss. So she kissed Sister Gui on the lips before walking out. Simon King said, it's strange that the dog is not allowed to come to the door. The Count came and closed the door behind him, saying, my son, the 2 of them can do whatever they want, and it's none of my business to do anything. After walking to the foot of the pine tree, he came back and said, where is the fragrant tea you promised me? Simon King said, what a weird dog. Just wait until I come back to stay with you, and then come to pester people again. The Earl had just been laughing. Sister Gui said, what an unsatisfactory knife-wielding person. Simon King and Sister Gui worked in the snow cave for an hour and ate a red date. There are poems to prove it. On the begonias, the orioles are rushing, and the swallows are talking frequently in the green bamboo shade. I have no time to give my painting hand, but I can't paint a beautiful scene. After a while, the two dressed up and came out. Sister Gui took out a lot of fragrant tea from his sleeve. Simon King, she was covered in sweat and panting, so he came to urinate under the tassel flowers. Sister Li Gui took out a mirror from her waist, placed it on the moon window, straightened it out, and went back. Simon King walked to Li Pingera's room, washed his hands and came out. The Earl asked him for fragrant tea, and Simon King said, "Gui Wazi, you are a scoundrel. Why are you just fooling around with others?" Everyone pinched a handful of it and gave it to him. The Earl said, "Only with my two sons. Let him. Wait until I ask the little whore of the Li family for it." Just as he was talking, he saw Li Ming coming to kowtow. The Earl asked, "Where is Li Rixen coming from? Have you ever asked how his affairs are doing?" Li Ming said, "I, Sister Gui, have lost my father's life. In the past 2 days, no one from the county has come to urge me. I just waited for the capital." The middle indicates the next mile. The Earl asked, "The little old lady from the Qi family has come out." Li Ming said, "Qi's young heir is still hiding in the royal family's house. Sister Gui is fine with Dad, who dares to look for her." The Earl said, "Otherwise, it would be a waste of time. Thank you and I for repeatedly begging your father. If you don't do everything for him, teach him where to find his head." Li Ming said, "If you don't care here, it won't work. My third aunt is very powerful. What have you done?" The Earl said, "I remember this is his birthday. Every time I meet your father, I celebrate his birthday with him." Li Ming said, "I don't need you anymore. Things will be over tomorrow. Third aunt and Sister Gui, why don't you invite me to sit with you?" The Earl said, "In the meantime, I'll just make up for my birthday." Because he told him to come closer. "You should eat this bell of wine for me. I have eaten for this whole day, and I can't eat anymore." Li Ming took the silver bell and drank it while kneeling. "See." She, the piano boy, poured another cup of wine to him. The Earl said, "How dare you not eat?" There was still a plate of snacks left on the table, and Zida handed him to more plates of roasted pork head and duck. Li Ming took it with both hands and ate it. The Count used chopsticks to pick up another half of the anchovy and said, "I see you haven't eaten this year. Let's try something new." Simon King said, "What a weird dog. I just gave it to him to eat. So what are you doing here?" The Earl said, "I'm waiting in the wine stall to go back to the restaurant, and I'm hungry. I don't know how to eat. Do you know that jiangnen? This fish only comes out once a year, and it tastes delicious until you pick it out between your teeth. It's so easy. To be fair, even the imperial court hasn't eaten it yet. If it's not here, who has it?" Just as he was talking, I saw the painting boy brought out 4 plates of fresh food, 1 plate of black water chestnuts, 1 plate of water chestnuts, 1 plate of snow lotus roots, and 1 plate of loquats. Before Simon King could put it into his mouth, Count Ying even grabbed the plate and poured it down his sleeves. "Zizidao, you can also keep 2 of them for me to eat." I also brought a plate of black water chestnuts to my hand, only the lotus roots fell on the table. Simon King pinched a piece and put it in his mouth, and ate the rest with Li Ming. After the painting boy was given, he took to loquats to reward Li Ming. Li Ming couldn't take the sleeve, so he came out to play and sing with the zither. After singing for a while, the Count asked him to sing and their column again. The 3 of them ate until it was time to turn on the lamp. And then they got up after waiting for the mung beans, white rice, water and rice to be brought out from behind. The Earl said, "Brother, I know that Masterin will invite you tomorrow, and I won't have time to do anything about it. I'll meet him the day after to deal with Li Si and Huang San." Simon King nodded, and the 2 of them went without waiting. Simon King's teacher took care of the guy and went back to Meng Yu's building to rest. A night without words. When I got up early the next day, I didn't even go to the Yamen. I ate porridge, rode a horse with my crown and belt, followed by Shetong and Dian, who went 30 miles south of the city and went directly to Eunuch Liu's manor to attend the banquet. Pan Jinlian caught up with Simon King, who was not at home, so she argued with Li Ping'er and asked Li Ping'er to add 7 more coins to the 3 coins that Chen Jingji had lost, and taught Lai Xing'er to buy a roast duck, 2 chickens, and a chicken. The money was given as food, a jar of Jinhua wine, a bottle of white wine, and a piece of silver stuffed into cold cakes to teach Lake Xing's daughter-in-law to behave properly. Jin Lian said to Yun Yang, "Sister played cards that day and won brother Chen's husband 3 pieces of silver. Sister Li added some more. I treated Dong Dower and invited my sister to eat in the garden. Wu Yunyang, Meng Yulu, Li Jiar, Sun Zue, eldest sister, and Sister Gui first had a meal in the rolling shed, and then took wine and vegetables and played chess in the Yunting Pavilion on the mountain, throwing pots, eating wine and playing tricks." Yunyang thought of it and asked, "Master, why don't you come and sit here today?" The eldest sister said, "Father asked him to go to the Zhu family outside the door to collect money. It's good to wait." After a while, Chen Jingji arrived, bowed to Yunyang and the others, and took the eldest sister to sit down. Xiang Yunyang said, "The money from the Zhu family has been collected. There are 5 envelopes of 250 taels in total. They were delivered to the room and the jade flute was collected. So the cups were passed round, and the wine was passed around for several rounds, each adding to the beauty of spring. Yunyang played chess with Li Jiar and Sister Gui. Everyone in the Jade Tower got up and went around to watch the flowers and play with grass. But Jin Lian was shaking her white gauze fan alone and went deep into the banana trees behind the mountain to enjoy the cool air. Seeing a cute wild purple flower on the grass in the corner, I went to pick it. Not wanting Jingji to be careless, he caught sight of her and quietly followed her, saying from behind, "Wan Yang, what are you looking for? The grass is slippery. I'm afraid if you fall, your son will feel bad." The golden lotus twisted her pink neck back, glanced sideways at her eyes, and said with a smile and a curse, "You are such a short-lived bastard. You offended me, but you feel sorry for me. Who wants you to care? What are you doing with me again? Not afraid of people watching?" Because he asked, "What happened to the sweat towel you bought?" Jingji smiled and took it out of his sleeve, handed it to him, and said, "All you Niangs are here." Then he said, "I bought the sweat towel. How can you thank me?" Then she put her face next to him, but Jin Lian raised her hand and pushed him away. Unexpectedly, Li Ping'er walked from the side of Songkyang with Guanjir in her arms and Nanny Ryer following. Seeing Jin Lian holding a round fan in his hand, he didn't know whether it was to show respect to Ji, but he only thought it was a butterfly fluttering, and hurriedly shouted, "Fifth mother, the butterfly fluttering is just like playing tricks on Brother Guan." Jingji was so panicked that he couldn't see it anymore and went into the mountain in 2 or 3 steps. Jin Lian was afraid that Li Ping'er would see it, so she deliberately asked, "Brother-in-law Chen, has he not given up the sweat towel yet?" Li Ping'er said, "He has not given up to me yet." Jin Lian said, "He just held it in his sleeves and didn't want to share it with me, so he quietly handed it to me." So the 2 of them sat on the flower bed stone under the banana bushes and parted ways. The 2 sat for a while, and Li Ping'er said, "It's quite shaded here." Yinshi Ryer said, "Go and ask the Yingchun house to fetch the child's pillow and mat, and bring the dominoes. Wan Yang and I will wipe the dominoes back here. You can watch them in the house." Ryer went. After a while, Yingchun came with a pillow mat and dominoes. Li Ping'er laid out a mat, put Guanjir down on a small pillow, and taught him how to play while he rubbed cards with Jin Lian. After wiping it on, I asked Yingchun to bring a pot of good tea from the house. Unexpectedly, Yu saw her on the Woyan Pavilion and called Li Ping'er, with a little wave of her hand, saying, "Sister, I want you to say something." Li Ping'er left the child behind and asked Jin Lian to look at her. "I'll come soon." The Golden Lotus remembered that Jingji was in the cave, and went to look after the child there. He walked 2 or 3 steps into the cave door in a hurry, taught Jingji, and said, "There is no one here. Just come out." Jingji asked the woman to go in and look at the mushrooms. These big-headed mushrooms are growing inside. When the coaxed woman entered the cave, she folded her legs and knelt down, wanting to have sex with her. The two were kissing each other. It was also a coincidence that Li Ping'er walked to the pavilion. And Yunyang said, Sister Meng Sanji and Sister Gui lost the pot. You come and throw the pots for him. Li Ping'er said, no one is looking after the child down there. Yulu said, there are 6 sisters on the left and right. What are you afraid of? Yunyang said, Sister Meng, please go and check for him. Li Ping'er said, Sanyang is tired of you, so why not give him a hug? Taught Xiao Yu, when you go, bring his mat and little pillow. When Xiao Yu and Yulu walked under the banana bushes, the child lay on the mat, kicking his hands and feet and crying strangely, not knowing where the golden lotus was. I saw a big black cat next to me. When someone came, I ran away quickly. Yulu said, where has his 5th mother gone? Yakala, Yakala. I left the child here and ate the cat to scare him. The golden lotus hurriedly came out of the snow cave and said, I'm purifying my hands here. Who is going there? Is there a cat there that scares him? It has white eyebrows and red eyes. I hugged Brother Guan and coaxed him up to Wandinger. Xiao Yu followed with a pillow mat. Jin Liang was afraid that he would imitate him, so she followed suit. Yunyang asked, why is the child crying? Yulu said, when I went there, I didn't know there was a big black cat squatting in front of the child's head. Yunyang said, it's clean to scare the child. Li Ping'er said, his 5th wife is looking at him. Yulu said, 6th sister goes to the cave to clean her hands. Jin Liang came up and said, 3rd sister, why are you so white-browed and red-eyed? Bring me a cat. He must be hungry and crying for milk, so he relies on someone else. When Li Ping'er saw Yingshan bringing tea, he asked him to call the nurse to feed his brother's milk. Seeing no one there, Chen Jingji got out of the hole, followed the pine wall, turned around the shed, and went out. Exactly, splitting the road of life and death with both hands. Jump out of the door of right and wrong. When Yunyang saw that the child was not feeding and was just crying, she told Li Ping'er, you take him to the house and put him to sleep. So he stopped drinking and everyone dispersed. It turned out that Chen Jingji had never succeeded with Pan Jinlian. Unfortunately, he returned to the front room, feeling a little unhappy. Exactly, helplessly, the flowers fall away, and the familiar swallows return.
Alright, this part of the story ends here.
Want to know what happened next? Let's listen to the breakdown next time.